Hello, my name is Micah Hughes. When you hear the word intelligence, the concept of IQ testing may immediately come to mind. Intelligence is often defined as your intellectual potential, something we are born with, something that can be measured, and a capacity that is difficult to change. In recent years, however, other views have emerged. One such conception is the theory of multiple intelligences proposed by Harvard cognitive psychologist Howard Gardner. In his book entitled Frames of Mind, Gardner describes a wide range of evidence supporting his contention that human intelligence is most accurately described as multiple rather than singular. Gardner believes IQ tests don't adequately measure a person's potential, and his main assumption is that intelligence is not seen as a single, static, monolithic construct, but as a multiple and evolving one, and very much depending on the social and cultural environment. As I have outlined in my handout, I have listed 8 intelligences with descriptions. They are visual or spatial, good at visualizing things, linguistic verbal, good at writing stories and reading, logical mathematical, good at reasoning and analyzing problems, bodily kinesthetic, good at body movement and physical control, musical, good at musical composition and performance, interpersonal, good at interacting with other people, intrapersonal, good at being aware of their own emotional state, and then naturalistic, highly aware of subtle changes in their environment. To simplify this, let me give you an illustration. If you are attempting to determine how intelligent a student is in, let's say, an auto mechanic class, you give him an assessment. The student is asked to remove an engine from a car, take it apart, put it back together again. The assessment consists of paper, pencil, and a performance test. Both student A and B are able to remove the engine from the car. Student A is able to take the engine apart, put it back together again, and then ignite the engine. He takes a paper and pencil test explaining the process of what he had done physically, and he makes an F. Student B is not able to put the engine back together again, but passes the written exam with an A+. The question to be asked is, which of the two is smarter? The answer, they both are, but in different ways. Gardner contends that people are smart in different ways and that teachers need to permit students to work within their areas of strength. As a result of his research and theory, educators have altered their lesson plans to serve the needs of students with varying intellectual strengths, re-envisioned curriculum, and schools have even been designed around the multiple intelligences theory. His critics contend that there are ways to measure multiple intelligence through the use of the metrics. Many inventories have been created in an attempt to prove just that argument. Yet in our current educational system, high-stakes tests, SAT, ACT, MAT, GRE, appear to rule the day. Referring back to the analogy of the two students and their car engines, the student who was able to successfully complete the performance task would have failed the high-stakes written test. Can you conclude that one student was more intelligently gifted than the other? Gardner argues against creating the illusion that the high-stakes test defines what students know and are able to do. I happen to have a personal connection to Howard Gardner in that my father, who is an educator, he's a principal. He spent a week at Harvard working under Howard Gardner in 2000 with what was called Project Zero. It was an educational think tank. And during this week, I spent a lot of time talking to my dad and was able to really gain a lot of insight from him about Howard Gardner and the processes of which he used. And it was very vital in the success and completion of this assignment. Thank you for listening.